Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. It's fantasy football, fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From mock drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all to have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, SiggyGuns never fail.
What is up, fantasy football fiends? My name is SiggyGuns, and here today is
JT Magnum.
bringing another episode of fantasy rankings. Today we are going to be talking about running backs, probably the most essential part of your fantasy football team. So let's just get started. We're going to talk about our top 25. What do you got there, JT?
For my top 5, I have, of course, the one and only Adrian Peterson, then Jamal Charles, Arian Foster, Marshawn Lynch, and CJ Spiller. And I want to talk about CJ Spiller because we already know the other four are going to bring it every week. CJ Spiller is going to be a fantasy stud this year. They've already said they're going to give him the ball nonstop. Fred Jackson's coming off a knee injury or a leg injury, and CJ Spiller just looks like he is ready to run. I mean, preseason games he's looked really sharp. They're handing the ball to him. He's very fast, very elusive, very hard to bring down, and he catches the ball out of the backfield as well. So I just see him as being just a breakout fantasy player this year and a stud.
No, I agree completely. Yeah, CJ Spiller should be awesome. I have my top 5, obviously, AP1. I have Doug Martin 2. I don't think I heard him in your top 5 list there. Arian Foster 3, Marshawn Lynch 4, CJ Spiller 5. And I'll go ahead and talk about Doug Martin. Now, Doug Martin did have a concussion in preseason, but I think he will be fine. He had a breakout season last year as a rookie. He pretty much carried a bunch of teams, and I think this year with Josh Freeman, I think he's going to improve. I think, though, they're going to give the ball to him more times in the goal line situation, certainly if his head allows him to. So that would probably be the only question during the season at this point, but I think he's going to have even more touchdowns than the 11 I think he had last year. So I expect him to have at least 15 on the ground this year. So Doug Martin, that's why he's going up there on a lot of draft boards.
Yeah, I like Doug Martin a lot. He's actually in my next group, which is 6 through 10. I have Lesean McCoy, Trent Richardson, Doug Martin, Ray Rice, and Steven Jackson. And I want to talk about Steven Jackson at number 10. He actually could probably go up a notch or two, but I think he's going to have an amazing year with Atlanta with that play action game, with that passing game that they have. I mean, you have, of course, Tony Gonzalez, Julio Jones. You have Roddy White and Matt Ryan, and I just feel like he's going to benefit from all that. They're going to pass the ball. He's going to be able to run because you just can't key on one aspect of their game. And I just see him as having a lot more touchdowns and a lot more yards this year than he was with St. Louis.
Agree completely. My round up to 10, 6, 79, 10, Jamal Charles, Ray Rice, Alfred Morris, Cris Johnson, yep, that Cris Johnson, and Trent Richardson to round off the top 10. Now, I did leave out McCoy and Jackson here. I'll go ahead and talk about Cris Johnson. The reason why I believe in him still is I think that Locker, or actually whoever's quarterback at this point, is probably going to be a little bit better than they were last year. And Cris Johnson ran pretty well last year. I think his numbers, a lot of people that had him probably frustrated. One bad game here, one good game there. But in the end, his numbers overall were pretty good considering that they were really trying to stop him. And I think this year he'll be even better. I know he doesn't like having Sean Green behind him, but I think he's going to have a real good season still. Cris Johnson still CJ2K in my opinion. So that's why I have him still up there.
And starting off the next batch of 5, I have number 11, Matt Forte. Then I have Alfred Morris, Stevan Ridley, Darren McFadden, and Maurice Jones-Drew. Maurice Jones-Drew was usually he's always in the top 5, but I have him this year at number 15. I still think he's going to be good. I just think he's slowed down a little bit. He's got a little bit. He has been a little bit injury prone, but I still see him as having a good year. And I mean, you still can't go wrong with any of the running backs. I mean, these are running backs. They're going to probably rush for 1,000 yards. They're going to have a few touchdowns. Any one of them can break out and have a great year, but Maurice Jones-Drew is definitely slipped for me because I just feel like they're not going to use him as much as they have in the past, and he's not going to be that humongous workhorse he's always been.
Exactly. No, I agree completely. On my 11 through 15, I have Lesean McCoy, Steven Jackson, Stevan Ridley, Matt Forte, and Frank Gore 15. I think I'll go ahead and talk about, since you already did Steven Jackson, I'll go ahead and talk about McCoy, why I have him so low. The offense, the Chip Kelly offense, I explained why I think Michael Vick's going to be good in this offense. The one thing that's usually left out on a high-powered offense is the running back as far as how he plays. Lesean McCoy, I think, is going to have an awesome year with screens, kind of like the old Brian Westbrook days, and I think that's what he's still going to be valued at that. I just think the rushing numbers are going to suffer a little bit in this offense. I think there'll probably be some quick little yards for him rushing, but I think the game is the offense is going to be more about passing and screens. So that could lead to where he probably won't be around the red zone as much as he probably was in the past, in my opinion. So we'll see, but that's the reason why I have LeSean McCoy fall so low.
And going from number 16 through 20, I have Cris Johnson, DeMarco Murray, Frank Gore, David Wilson, and Reggie Bush. And I want to talk about Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush actually could be a person that could actually fly up the charts because of that passing game with Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford. Plus, Reggie Bush catches the ball out of the backfield, and that offense looks like they're going to be using him a lot for that reason. He can be one of those type of players like a Marshall Faulk type when he was with St. Louis. And
Yeah.
I just see him as catching a lot of balls, also, playing the part in the running game. And if he stays healthy, I actually think Reggie Bush will do really well. And if you're in a points per reception league, he'll be a great running back pickup for you there.
That's true. I got mine to round it up. Darren McFadden, Maurice Jones-Drew, DeMarco Murray, Reggie Bush, and David Wilson at 20. I'll go ahead and talk about DeMarco Murray. Here's somebody that last year a lot of people took pretty high, around probably 6, 7, or 8, and he disappointed because of his injury. If he's healthy, this guy should be a top 10 back easily because the Cowboy offense, while Romo's throwing the ball and doing good, they rely though on the running game a lot. And he was putting up some real good numbers whenever he's healthy. And I just think that if this is the year where he's finally healthy, the whole season, you're looking at somebody that should easily get 1,500 yards rushing. And he's probably the only Cowboy on that roster that could be able to put it in the end zone on the goal situations. So he should have good numbers there. But again, that's the question. That's the reason why he's in the 15 through 20 section because he doesn't stay healthy. So we'll see.
And to finish out my top 25, I have Le'Veon Bell at 21, Darren Sproles, Lamar Miller, Rashard Mendenhall, and then Jonathan Stewart. And Rashard Mendenhall, I want to talk about from he's on Arizona now, and it looks like he's obviously going to be their workhorse for them, and he's coming off an injury as well, and I feel like he's pretty much healthy now, and they're going to utilize him with Carson Palmer in that play action. And I just feel like he's good for about 1,200 yards this year and good for about maybe 8 or 9 touchdowns. And I think that's a really good like late pickup for you if you're looking at running backs a little bit later. And he can be one of those kind of sleeper picks for you at running back that can actually have a really good breakout year as well.
No, I agree completely on that. To round out mine, I do have it was Lamar Miller, Bill Powell for the Jets, Rashard Mendenhall, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and then Le'Veon Bell to finish out the top 25. I'll go ahead and talk about Powell. The Jets' offense at one point used to all be about the run. They've been really pushing this kid hard in preseason. I like what I see, and I just think that if the Jets' quarterback situation is going to be a mess, regardless if it's Mark Sanchez or Geno Smith, normally I would say stay away from every Jet possible. But the one thing, since this could be Rex Ryan's last year, he'd probably go ahead and stick to what he used to do best, and that was run the ball, run first before throwing the ball. And I think Powell will be a benefit for that. I think he could score in the red zone. He's certainly big enough to. And I just think he's one of those running backs that a lot of people don't see on the radar at all. And I think he could be great value at this low on the list.
Great. So that's it, Fantasy Football Fiends. That's our top 25 running back rankings. You will see the rest of the list in the description if you want our list of total running back rankings. And stay tuned. We're going to have wide receivers next, and then tight ends, and then defense and special teams. And then we'll talk about our sleepers strategy and our mock drafts. And then we'll get into every week on Wednesdays giving you our starts and sits. All right, for JT Magnum, it's
SiggyGuns.
and we're out. Fantasy Football Fiends. Peace out.
Peace.